Okay, at this point, you should have 1 through 6 done. It should be completed on the box paper. If not, go back to the box paper and write it in. Okay, 7, says Ariana is making a decoration. When folded, the decoration is a triangular pyramid made of 4 congruent equilateral triangles. So again, it does not matter how I draw this. I have 4 triangles that are all the same. I know they're the same because it says congruent, which is the geometry word for equal. So if I can find the area of one triangle using the base times height divided by 2 formula, I know the area of all the triangles. And just by looking at the triangle given, I clearly see there's a base of 12 and a height of 10.4. So 12 times 10.4 divided by 2 is going to give me the area of a triangle. So I go to my calculator. 12 times 10.4 gives me 124.8 divided by 2 gives me an area of 62.4. So each and every triangle has an area of 62.4. This is what work looks like. This is what should be in your box. And then to get my final answer, I just add that, this plus this plus this plus this, and it gives me 249.6. Number 8. The volume of the fish tank shown below. Well, volume is length times width times height. The length of this is, there's a lot of ways you can think about it. If you just see it like this, you can write it like this. The order of the numbers doesn't matter when you multiply. Technically, the length would be 10 1/2, the width would be 4, and the height would be 8 because it's 8 tall. However, no matter how you write those numbers, if you put them in your calculator, it is going to give you an answer of 336 is the value. The next one is slightly different. A sandbox at the park measures 8 feet wide, 8 3/4 feet long, and 2 feet deep. What is the volume of the sandbox if it's filled up halfway? 2 important pieces of information here. One, it's volume, so I know I'm going to use the volume formula. And it tells us it has a length of 8 3/4, a width of 8, and it's 2 feet deep, which is another word for height. So when I multiply that out on my calculator, which you should be doing now, it gives you a volume of the entire thing of 140. However, that was the commonly chosen answer, but that is not the final answer because it's filled up halfway. So once we know what the entire volume is, we're going to do 1/2 times that volume, which is 140. And 1/2 times 140 gives us the total volume of 70 cubic feet. We're almost done now. Moving on to number 10. It says the right rectangular prism is made up of 8 cubes. Each cube has an edge length of 1/2. So we're going to have to find the length, width, and height, and then multiply those numbers. Well, the length, there's 1/2, 2 halves, 3 halves, 4 halves. The height is 1/2, 2 halves. And the width, it's just 1 here. So that's just 1/2. So there are your dimensions. It's 4/2, 1/2, and 2/2. So to find the volume, and again, it doesn't necessarily matter what you called the length, what you called the width, and what you called the height, but that's what you're going to have to multiply. And when you multiply those, it gives you 1 cubic unit. Number 11, on the coordinate grid, a rectangle has vertices at 3/3, -2, 3, -7, and -3, -2. What is the location of the 4th vertex? So I'm going to plot what it tells me. It tells me 3, -2. It tells me 3, -7. It tells me -3, -2. And I need to know where that last point is located. Well, if I start connecting this, and I know it's a rectangle, to form a rectangle, it's got to be right there. X marks the spot. That is how we're going to form our rectangle. And then we just need to know, hey, where is this point located at? And so I see that it's 3 to the left, so my X is -3, which means that's wrong because that has an x of positive 7. That's wrong. That has an x of positive 7. And then it's down 7. So that has to be answer choice B.